Hey guys! Today we will have a look at Rainbow from Prism, which is based on the 4MS Spectral Multiband Resonator module and is full with nice features. So what we have here are 6 resonant bandpass filters, and each filter is separately tuned. So we have actually 6 voices, and let's really start with some sounds. We will send the poly output, the polyphonic output, to the mixer. And already we have sound because of the internally routed noise. We can choose between 3 different types. We have brown noise, we have pink noise, and we have white noise. Now we have a global level control. Let's take this all the way up. We can also change the level for each of the filters separately, just like this, for example. Let's put this back up. Now we have also global control for the resonance. Oh yeah. And we have also control for the resonance for each filter, and we just have to activate the channel Q. So let's say I want channel 2 to change it separately than the others. Channel 4 also. Let's bring this back. Now we have also built-in scales that we can use, and all we have to do is select them. So let's select, for example, a minor scale and then load the scale. Oh yeah, very nice. And by the way, there is also an expansion module that we can enter or program our own scales, custom scales. We can change the notes. We have a few scales, user scales to choose from. We can change the A tuning, 440, 432, whatever you want, and you can create your own custom scales, and also load Scala files, by the way. So this you can also use. Now each color in this circle here represents a single filter, so they are now close together, but we can also spread them with the spread knob. So spread the notes apart for each filter. We can also move between the different notes, left or right. We can also trigger this left or right, and we can also activate or raise the morph, which will smoothly move between the notes. So it's morphing between the notes. And again, we can trigger this, or we can also modulate this through the note CV. For example, with sample and hold, and I will use the one from Bog Audio. Let's change its range to 0 to positive 5 volts. I will trigger it with a divided clock, however, a clock divided by 4, and this will modulate the note CV. You can see how it's moving and morphing between the different notes. We can also turn off some notes if we don't want them. Let's say 1, 2, just click the outer circle here, the notes you don't want, and it will skip those notes. Oh yeah. Now we can also modulate the levels of each filter separately, but let's add some reverb first. I have it here from Plateau. Oh yeah. And now let's use the black octa source from Erika Synths. Let's take the rate down, something like this. And let's modulate the levels. Now we have individual inputs, or we have also a polyphonic inputs we can use, and we can also slew this control voltage if you're using gates, for example. But for now I'm just going to modulate the levels with the black octa source separately. And you can see the movement also, which is quite cool. Oh yeah. Okay, now we also have an envelope follower for each filter, which will follow the overall frequency content and level. So we can use this for controlling, for example, other modules, or even for creating weird sequences. And we will use the polyphonic output. So let's send this first to a VCA, and we will use the VCA from VCV, which is again polyphonic. So let's send this, the polyphonic envelope follower, to the VCA, and let's have a look also on the scope, how it will look like. The scope is also polyphonic. So these are the signals we will get. And we also have different modes. We have slow, fast, and trigger. So you can change the response of the envelope follower, which is also quite handy. So let's disconnect this. Let's close the VCA for about let's say 10%, something like this. Let's say 1045. Now let's use also a polyphonic quantizer, and I will use Quantum from ML, which is again polyphonic. Let's set a minor scale, D, C, E flat, F, G, and B flat. For our voice, we will use the FM operator, which is now also polyphonic, and this is quite amazing. Let's turn on the level envelope and change the envelope a bit, sustain and attack all the way down. Let's send the signal through the quantizer, through Quantum, to the FM operator, and I will use also the gates from Quantum, again polyphonic gates. And let's send this to the mixer. I'll just watch our levels, that it's not too high. Oh yeah, this is how it sounds like. Now, we have 6 different channels here, and we can spread them through the stereo field. We will use the Metro City Bus and also the Bus Depot from Glue the Giant. So let's make the connections. The polyphonic signal will go to the poly input. The bus output will go to the bus input of Bus Depot. Here we can already attenuate the signals a bit. Something like this. And now we have the mix output will go to the mixer. Just like this. And now we can spread the signals through the stereo field or across the stereo field. Let's take the panning all the way to the right and then spread it to the left. So if you are with headphones, you can really listen to this, you can really hear this and see this also here visually, how it's spreaded the 6 different channels. Very nice. Let's add, of course, some reverb. Listen to everything together. Oh yeah. Now we can modulate the feedback amount of the FM operator, again with the octa source. So let's do this with another output. And this is a monophonic signal, so it will modulate all 6 channels at once. In this case, 6 channels. Oh yeah. Okay, now just like the envelope follower, we also have pitch follower for each filter and also a polyphonic output. So let's send this to the scope. So we can use the pitch information for other modules. Again, 6 channels we have all in all, 1 for each filter. Okay, so let's use another polyphonic voice. and I will use the wave oscillator from Blemsoft, which is again polyphonic. Let's use this pitch information, take the density up so we have more oscillators in this module, take the spread all the way up, maybe some less detune. Let's change the wavetable to phase distortion, so pulse, just a nice sound. Let's listen to this again, watch the levels because this is polyphonic, and let's solo this. Oh yeah, let's add some reverb, of course. This will be the wave. Oh yeah. Now we can use the octa source also here to scan through the wavetable, so we have another free output here. Something like this maybe. Oh yeah. Now we can also modulate the noise and add some noise here and there, but there is no CV input, so what we will have to do is use the micro map from Störmelder, map it to the noise, and let's use another output from the octa source. And now you will see this knob move when it goes to the positive voltage. Oh yeah. This is nice. Okay, let's unsolo this. And let's add another layer with clouds. Now again, this is a polyphonic signal. You can see the cables are thick. So what we'll have to do, we will have to sum this signal into a monophonic one because clouds cannot work with polyphonic signals. So let's send this, the signal from the oscillator, also to spread. This is from stock audio, which will also sum the polyphonic signals, in this case stereo polyphonic signals, into a monophonic signal, and send this to clouds. Take the gain a bit up, blend all the way up. I want just the wet signal, spread all the way up so it's nice and spread through the stereo field. Some feedback and reverb all the way up. Let's also take this one octave up by right clicking the pitch knob and entering 1. So this is 1 octave higher than the original pitch. Let's modulate the size and texture again with the octa source, just for fun. Send this to the mixer and start generating some grains. Let's solo this and see how it sounds like. I'm generating grains, or clouds will generate grains randomly when we turn the density knob to the right. Oh yeah. And again, this is 1 octave higher. Let's unsolo this. So this adds some more texture or another layer to the sound. Very cool. Okay, so there's another thing I want to show you about Rainbow. Let's duplicate it. So we have the same settings, more or less. And you can see that we also have a polyphonic input for exciting Rainbow with an external signal. And for this, we will use, in this case, the same divided clock. But first, let's run it through branches. Again, mutable instruments or Bernoulli gate from audible instruments. So let's use the same divided clock and send it to the polyphonic input of Rainbow. And in this case, we use a monophonic signal, so it will be sent to all 6 channels together. Let's take the probability knob all the way to the left, so the clock will always go through to rainbow, and let's have a listen to this through the polyphonic output. Let's solo this. Very nice. Now when using a gate like we are doing now to excite rainbow, it will excite it on the way up and on the way down. So if you don't want this, you can just use a short trigger to excite it once. But for now, with the resonance control, we can control the decay time. Oh yeah. We can change the filter type. We have 3 types of filters here for different sounds. Oh yeah. It's more snappy. Let's also modulate the note CV here with the lower sample and hold. We have 2 parts here and they are normaled, so the gate will also trigger the lower sample and hold. So let's modulate the note CV. So we have change in pitch. So we can also, you can see we can excite the filters and create more percussive sounds. Now let's use the dual delay from MSM, which will look like this. Let's just change this to night mode. And we can choose to output a few different things from the polyphonic output. Now we are outputting a monophonic actually signal. You can see the cable is thin and this will output all 6 channels together. We can also choose to output 2 polyphonic channels or signals. One will be with the odd numbered filters, so 1, 3 and 5, and one will be with the even numbered filters, so 2, 4 and 6. Or we can output 6 channels, a polyphonic signal with 6 channels, 1 for each filter. But let's go with the odd and even output. So we have 2 channels, and now I will split them to the delay because the delay cannot work with polyphonic signals. So let's split this, and you can see we have 2 channels, one for the odd numbered filters and one for the even ones. And now this will go to the delay. Let's sync the delay with the clock. So the clock will go to the clock input, and we shall not forget to activate the sync mode. Very nice. And now let's turn branches again to the center, or the probability of chances of branches to the center. And let's listen to this from the delay. Take the feedback almost all the way up. Change also the time for one channel. Let's say 92% here and 94% here. Take the level all the way up. Add some high pass filter just to take the lows out a bit. So this is what we have for now. Let's add another sample and hold. Again, Bog Audio, and trigger it with the second output, or with the B output of branches. And now set this to negative, positive 1 volt and modulate the delay times of both channels. Again, the sample and hold is normal, so we don't need to trigger the lower section again. So we have some movement. Oh yeah. Add some reverb. Let's listen to everything together. Oh man. Oh yes. Okay, now there is a lot to explore with this module. For example, you can send also pitch information to it, and you can select the channels you want to modulate, let's say, or to control, the pitch you want to control. So again, the odd numbered filters or the even ones. You can also lock the pitch information, and now this movement here with the notes will not affect those channels. You can also control or change or modulate or automate the scale, which is also quite cool. Lots to explore with this, so go experiment and have fun. Like always, there will be a link in the description to this patch. Feel free to download it and take a closer look. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button. If you enjoy what I do, consider becoming a Patreon. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe and hit the bell. And have a good one.